What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more J-drama score, and we're going to listen to another one from the Crisis soundtrack, which I believe has the subtitle Special Security Squad. This is particularly relevant because I've recently finished our journey through Lucky 7 over on Patreon, and the next show we're going to watch is Crisis. As always, shout out to both Michaela and Dawn, who've been taking these J-drama journeys with me in real time, and anyone else who may be watching, and Michaela has in fact seen Crisis before. And yes, it is epic, it's intense, it's a bit neo-noir, it's got a lot of great action, it stars Zaguri Shun, you can't go wrong there. So yes, it's just a really fantastic show. I'm looking forward to going through it and talking about it more, and I figured in celebration of the fact that we're about to start a journey through it over on Patreon, we should do another reaction to the soundtrack. I think I've mentioned before, because I've done maybe 8 or 9 reactions to the soundtrack over the last couple years, but there are 2 composers. We're going to listen to another one by Yamamoto Kohta, and it's called Ignore the Nation, Awake My Identity. So yeah, I mean, those phrases, they certainly bear relevance to the show. I won't spoil too much. I'll just say that the Special Security Squad in question is an arm of the government newly created that is tasked with dealing with situations that are uncomfortable for the government to publicly disclose or talk about. They are expected to fix the situation, make sure the populace is not in danger, but in a way that is deniable or that can be buried by the upper echelons of government, which becomes more and more of a complicated aspect for the team themselves over the course of the show. This track has bigger, more epic moments, which very much, like, the score at large is quite big and epic and grand. Now, there are tunes that have a lighter sound, there's some tunes which have a more sweet and emotional sound, but a lot of the soundtrack is big and intense and pulse-pounding, which fits with the action and the drama and the neo-noir character of the story. And other parts of this track are a bit more mysterious, waiting to see what's going to happen. There's a bit of anticipation, so it kind of goes back and forth between bigger moments and more anticipatory moments in this particular tune. So let's give it a listen. This is Crisis, a show from 2016, I believe. This particular tune is by Yamamoto Kohta, and it's Ignore the Nation, Awake My Identity. I thought that big part came back for a second time, but I think it's, maybe in the show they kind of loop it or they bring back that section like seamlessly, what's the right word? Spliced into the end of the track as it is recorded. But yes, I love that moment where it really swells and you can hear some choral voices. Obviously there's a lot of drums and, fast pulse pounding snare in the track. Also some electronic signal type noises. There's that one that, it's a bit of a like wicked electric synth type sound, and also that maybe like, I think it's like the beginning of the second half of the tune, there's almost like a bit of a jazzy section where it sounds like almost like an organ keyboard line. So yeah, there's some variety in this one. It's definitely a tune you hear multiple times in the show overall, maybe even like just about once per episode. I can think of a couple, not like moments specifically, but moment types. I feel like it's a tune that's used in some cases where the team has taken care of something or they've solved at least one part of the case, and everyone's like, are you okay? They're making sure people are okay, or like team members, did he make it? Is he good? So yes, in fact, I can think of one specific moment. I think it's used at the crucial moment, or at the moment when we see the first title screen, just before it. Like, the show opens and they're already dealing with a case, and that case kind of gets resolved, and that's when the first episode really begins. And in the moment when they're solving the case, that's kind of the introduction to the show, which is on a train, right before they lead into the first credit sequence, I think this track is playing. I think that's the case. And so, yeah, my brain is kind of like, I think, characterizing its usage based on that moment in particular. But you definitely hear it multiple times over the course of the show. Again, I'm very much looking forward to it. I know Michaela is. We watched it, and not only is Oguri Shun like just, it's one of my favorite roles from him, and quite different, of course, than a role like Hana Yoridango as Hanazawa Rui, or even Nobunaga or Saburo, as we'll find out after we go through Crisis. But yeah, it's like a very physically demanding role, kind of like in the way that I've been talking during the Lucky 7 watch along, that, full credit to Matsumoto Jun and Eita, because their physicality in these two roles as part of the team is really, really impressive. And, they obviously did a lot of their own stunt work. You could say the same for Oguri Shun and one or two of the other actors in the Crisis team. So we'll talk about all of this as we go through the show over on Patreon. It should be starting very soon, so keep an eye out. Let me know what you think of the tune, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.